From the South Carolina Lowcountry, where it's delightfully misty and cool, I say hello to my hometown of Marietta, Georgia, where no pathogen can keep the dogwoods from blooming. Semper Fidelis to the Marines in Oceanside, California. August in Jacksonville is worse than your hills. Warm Belarusian greetings to my friends in Minsk, where you could use a little warmth right about now. And to Stirling Castle overlooking the Fourth Valley. Salutations from Studio C, and here's a thing. You know that puts you in a good mood. Couldn't we all use that right about now? Oh yeah, as the man says. By the way, that's me. Oh yeah, with a funky little filter on the microphone on GarageBand. Music producer extraordinaire. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good day to you around the globe. I genuinely hope this message finds you truly well and joyful. Indeed. As I sit here in, as I said, Studio C, we'll call it. Having moved for the, third or fourth time to try to find a place that is out of the way, has a little privacy, is not exposed to the, shall we say, neighborhood environmental noises of everyone being at home and bored, and that I can do some stuff to make it reasonably echo-free. So we'll all find out. As I told you last time, I'll work on it and I'll do something about it, so here we are. And I think I have solved the echoing issues, which, by the way, again, welcome to Here's a Thing, Excursus. I have fun doing the Excursus episodes because I just get to ramble a bit, and I think I'm going to, as we work our way through this, what do you want to call it? Do you want to call it a crisis? Because I don't really, I don't know. I don't like that word. Has too many negative connotations, and there's a lot of good people coming together doing the right things now, regardless of what you read on the panic media. But it is naturally, I don't need to tell you, good people of HAT family, that it is a grave situation in some places, a serious situation in others, and a rising situation in others. Anyway, as we work our way through this together, I think I'm going to maybe chill on the message episodes a little bit and do more conversational stuff, because as so many of us are sort of stuck in place, as it were, I think it's just nicer to have a more of a conversational tone and less of a, hey, here's what I think about this tone. And as I stated on Friday, or for you, this is a podcast, so it's not radio, and the rules state that you're not supposed to indicate a time on a recorded media piece that folks may view or listen to at a non-specific time, but I don't care. It is currently 3:52 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, GMT +4, here in the South Carolina Lowcountry. And as I mentioned, it's a little misty and cool, which is very nice for me because our summers are about 8.5 to 9 months long, and I like to stay out of it as much as possible. So Studio C, hopefully echo free. And today's brewed beverage of choice is a nice, unobtrusive Earl Grey Black from the good folks of Twinings, which I believe, of course, Twinings, the home is London, in England, in the UK, which is, as I've mentioned several times, one of my very favorite places. You go to London, you walk through the Piccadilly area up to the Westminster area and Belgravia and that whole general Kensington, the gates up past Buckingham Palace and Westminster, and the embassy area and the shopping. And you can understand why the world gathers there. It's quite a city. I'm sure there's things to not like about it, just like there are things to not like about every little place on earth, but we don't do that here. Well, not much anyway. But anyway, London, I believe, is where Twinings, their tea, the little tagline on their tea says 300 years of experience, I think. Something like that. But our Twinings is distributed in New Jersey, I believe, which, by the way, if you've never been to New Jersey and the only thing you've ever seen or heard of New Jersey is the opening credits of The Sopranos, then you might be surprised to know just exactly why New Jersey is the Garden State. It's quite beautiful. Not everywhere, but if you get up in the central northern parts of New Jersey and out towards Pennsylvania, it is absolutely gorgeous. Around Hacklebarney State Park and Gladstone, Peapack, that area, Somerville. And then if for a whole different thing, you go down south, and of course you have the beaches down there, the Jersey Shore, as everyone knows it. And the Jersey Shore, for those of you, once again, who have never been there and know nothing of the Jersey Shore except for that show, there's more to the Jersey Shore than that. I love New Jersey, so there you go. Spent a little bit of time working there. Anyway, a little Earl Grey. Today I went with tea over coffee because I need a little relaxation. It has been an extraordinarily trying time, and really, actually, the least of my worries right now is this coronavirus thing. So we won't worry about who, what, when, where, or why, but we all, as we say, improvise, adapt, and overcome. If you can't do that, you're just going to melt into a puddle of goo, and then what good are you to anyone? None. So a nice relaxing cup of Earl Grey Black for me today. And speaking of the global predicament, coronavirus, that's all we're talking about, right? I like to take that and offshoot from it. I don't want to talk about who's sick and who's dying and whose jackass politicians are doing what and what. Just absolutely, do you know what? You know what I like to call them? Belly-crawling gutter snipes in social media are taking advantage of the situation to just tear down everything. And it's not sad, it's just excruciating. I mean, it is sad to a certain extent that people can't pull their own heads out of their own asses, but it takes all kinds to make a global community, does it not? If it weren't for the turd weasels and the wolves and that kind, then, well, it would be difficult to develop sheepdogs, leaders, elevators, and by elevators I mean those who elevate you, not the box you stand in to go up or down. It would be hard to develop that because there would be no challenge. Iron sharpens iron. So whenever somebody's an ass to you, just remember, as I always say, the universe demands balance. There is a counterbalance to that, and if you can't look around and find the counterbalance, make it you. Anyway, so the current situation has shifted the paradigm a bit, and the paradigm in my house has shifted, which is why I've had to shift my stuff around, my equipment around the house from room to room to room several times. But I am very happy, actually, to have Mrs. Here's a Thing working from home, whether she likes it or not, because I do love her, and I love having her around at times other than when she's come home from work at the end of the day and is exhausted, and we have a teenager, and our conversations either revolve around that and how we're going to deal with it, or we don't have conversations at all because it's just like, can I just be for a minute? And she's a sleepy thing. She's a napper. She's a sleeper. So by the time I leave her alone, I do, as you know, work from home to running my business here. So I'm here all the time anyway, which makes me sort of stir crazy on a regular day. Forget about global pandemic plague days, where all I have to talk to generally is, if I don't have any client visits or phone calls, the dog and the cat. So I'm enjoying having her here. And speaking of the critters, apparently it's National Puppy Day, which is a delightful thing. I mean, it says National Puppy Day, so national meaning a nation, so I'm presuming that's a U.S. thing. I don't know whether you guys are celebrating National Puppy Day around the globe. If you're not, you know, it's like we say about kids. When it's Mother's Day or Father's Day and the kids are bitching about, why don't we have a Kids Day? Every day is Kids Day. Isn't every day Puppy Day? If it's not, it should be. So, from the Here's the Thing studios in the Lowcountry of South Carolina, I bid you happy National Puppy Day, and by extension, I decree it International Puppy Day. So those of you in the UK, in Belgium, in Ireland, over here up north of the border in Canada, down under in Australia, the Netherlands, Lithuania, United Arab Emirates, Southeast Asia, happy International Puppy Day from me to you. And as we all are doing things to try to keep from getting bored, a lot of it for me involves trying to find something new to watch in my downtime. And I really hate television because it's so bad, generally speaking. It's very difficult to find. I am 50 years old. I'm not 30, nor am I 17. And for some reason, these age groups are interested in strange things. And I'm just looking, after dealing with the world like an adult, I'm really only looking to grab the remote control, hit the button, and either, I want to be entertained. I want to laugh. I want to maybe learn a little something here and there. Maybe have something shared back and forth. I'm not looking for gratuitous physical contact for no reason. I'm not looking for 87 F-bombs in a 10-minute period of time for no reason. The language is not contextual. It doesn't forward the narrative at all. Look, I was an infantry marine. I still am an infantry marine until the day I die. I've been known to be a little salty. I'm not opposed to salty language. We've had this discussion. But, however, I don't need to have it poured on top of me like some old silent movie villain with a pointy mustache has tied me to the railroad tracks, except instead of a train coming towards me, I'm under a cement truck and it's just pouring its entire load on me. That's what it feels like watching TV sometimes with this just pointless licentiousness and lasciviousness. And so anyway, back over here where my point was, I think, I've come to the conclusion that YouTube, which teenagers generally use to watch other people play video games, which I find to be maybe the most bizarre thing I've encountered in the last 10 years. Turning on the television to watch other people play video games and talk about it. What are you doing with your time? Get out of my house. Anyway, YouTube is a tremendous tool, and you can find just about anything on it if you try hard enough. And I'm finding lots of things that delight me, as I always encourage you to do. And as many of you know, I am a great lover, a great fan of the land of Scotland. The people, the land, the mountains, the sea, the golf courses, the cities, the trains, the culture, the art museums, everything. I'm a huge fan of it. I love the place. I have roots going back centuries with Clan Campbell. I'm not going to do it anymore. The accent. I'll try. Anyway, and I love Scotland, so I'm sitting around the other day and I'm thinking, find things that delight you. Find things that delight you. Okay, YouTube search. Show me how to do a proper Scottish accent. And I came up with a lot of fun things, and as we do here, I share. If I come up with something I like, you're obviously here because, I don't know, we share something, some kind of common bond, so I figure maybe you'll like some of the things that I like. And I like to share those with you. So one of those that I found is a YouTube channel of a lovely Scottish lass who I could listen to speak for days because she has a musical voice with that lovely Scottish accent. And I'm going to share her channel with you. I messaged her earlier and she didn't tell me no. And we all gotta share, help each other out in this community. And her name is Erin, Erin, Erin. And I believe that all of her platforms, if you search for Beauty Creep, BeautyCreep, I don't know. Erin, you're going to have to tell me what the name's all about. Beauty Creep. Go subscribe to her channel on YouTube because she's very entertaining. She talks a lot like this particular version of Here's the Thing, the Excursus versions. She talks a lot about stuff. I love that she talks a lot about Scotland and where to go and what to see and this, that, and the other, and I love that kind of thing. And as I said, I could listen to her talk for days and days and days on end, much like I mentioned in a past episode, the disembodied, lovely Scottish lass voice that I fell in love with on the train as she announced each stop. So go look her up and, don't just play. Subscribe to her channel because it's fun. It's delightful. She's delightful, and just wanted to share that with you guys. YouTube. Who knew? Things that might entertain you. So there you go. That's my YouTube recommendation. My YouTube channel recommendation for the day. Maybe that'll become a thing. And again, if we can't share what we like, then we're just wasting this magical medium that we have, and that just seems like a crime against nature. Wasting it on friction and inauthentic image crafting and teenage inanity is iniquitous. And while I'm on the whole YouTube thing, there's a lot of things out there that I enjoy. Also, if you want, I know I'm a dude and I'm not a mom, but I'm married to a mom, and so I've seen it, and that kind of stuff cracks me up. Meredith Masony, I think that's inappropriate. I think her channel is called That's Inappropriate. Go there and subscribe to that too, because it's pretty funny. But as an older guy who's been around and who grew up with radio and with production, with television, with theater, behind the scenes of everything, I really want everyone making video for YouTube right now to stop chopping it up so much. First of all, it's hard to watch. I know. We're all trying to cram as much content into the time and space as possible, but I guarantee you, I absolutely bet that some of the most entertaining moments are being edited out. And there's a difference between dead air and amusing silliness. And amusing silliness is good for everyone. Again, I think that the narrative has been pushed that everybody wants to see friction and fighting and gratuitous activities and horrible coarse language, but I'm really doubting that. People want a little joy in their lives, and you don't get joy. Joy is not derived from friction. So stop chopping up those videos so much. And Aaron at Beauty Creep, like I said, I've probably watched about 25 of your videos so far, and the ones where you don't chop them up so much are a lot better, because your little silliness and all your little, when you mispronounce things and or misspeak or you drop your phone or an airplane flies over, and your reaction to that is gold. Keep that in there. Keep those in there. You didn't ask, but there's a little unsolicited. I'm not going to call it advice. I'm not going to tell you guys how to run your channels. You don't tell me how to do mine. It's just maybe unsolicited opinion from an old guy. So go forth, do that. Search for things that delight you, whatever they are. Put on whatever your favorite place was you went for vacation or whatever. I guarantee you it has a webcam. Search for it and find it and just sit there, leave it on the television. And also things that delight me. Again, as I reveal my deep love for the Anglo culture and the UK and the English and the Scottish and everything that goes with it. In this crass and crabby and coarse world, I deeply yearn for a little refinement, a little grace, a little civility. And I'm rewatching Downton Abbey starting from the beginning. We discovered it much after the whole series ended, I think. I don't think we started watching it before the series ended, but I could be wrong. And then, of course, we saw the movie, which was the best movie I've seen in ages, not because it was a piece of cinematic brilliance, but it was simply a classy and enjoyable and fun way to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours. It was just delightful. No one was murdered. No one was buried in a coffin alive with a webcam to the FBI. It was just decency, and it was fun, and it was good to see the folks again. Anyway, I'm watching Downton Abbey again, and my wife is kind of coming along for the ride, I guess. But if nothing else, I simply love to listen to the verbal interplay, how they speak to one another, how they deal with one another, the tact, even when one is telling one to bugger off. Apologize if I cursed in the UK. That I don't think that word is explicit here. Anyway, when one is telling one to bugger off, one does it with such tact. And I love it. And I love manners. I'm a Southern boy. We were raised with manners and decency and civility. And I enjoy seeing where it came from, where it came. And speaking of language, I've been wanting to get into this for a while, and I touched on this with my communication episode way back when. And if you're wondering about it, if you were wondering where my opinions are on the whole language and communication thing, go back and re-listen or download the communication episode. But folks, we got to do something because now more and more of us have a microphone in front of us or a camera, and it's genuinely painful listening to a lot of folks try to speak. And I'm not talking about slangs or colloquialisms. I'm simply referring to the way words and sentences physically come out of people's mouths. We must spend a little bit of time working on this, folks. Speaking complete sentences, not fragments. Avoid the dreaded upspeak, because that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, good Lord, you have to stop. Also, don't make me get into the whole verse and verses thing. I'm gonna want to strangle somebody. Let us work on our communication and elevate the discourse, as it were. I think I'm probably going to wrap it up right about there and start working on further entertainment ideas as we go along throughout the week, throughout the month, and throughout whenever the heck all this craziness ends. And as I ride off here today, please remember, search for Here's a Thing everywhere, all the platforms everywhere. I can't believe there's anywhere you can't find me. And don't forget to help out, become a patron. And you can find that at patron.podbean.com/here's a thing. And there's buttons to click everywhere if you'd like to donate anything from $1 to everything you have to help keep us going. Support each other. Let's go. And I will be back in this space again sometime before the next 24 hours expires. That's enough triviality for now. Here's to a joyful afternoon wherever you are, and whenever 4 o'clock comes round to that place. I chose 4 o'clock just because it's a nice time of day. Have you ever met anyone that's cranky at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? I guess that depends on what you do, but generally not. Here's a Thing can be found on the Podbean app. Here's a Thing at podbean.com, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeart, Spotify, and lots of other places in the podcast universe. You know where to find it. Tell Alexa, play Here's a Thing. Tell Google, play Here's a Thing. Got a lot of downloads from those platforms, and I'm very grateful for those of you listening as such. Please subscribe, rate, and review. It really helps you guys. And just like I shared the information for the other creators out there, do the same. Share the love, share the show, subscribe, rate, and review. And really, share the show link with a friend. That does huge things to get us in places like we are around the world, such as the United Kingdom, Belgium, Canada, Ireland, Armenia, Australia, India, Spain, Romania, Russia, the Netherlands, France, Germany, Portugal, United Arab Emirates, Brazil, the Bahamas, Belarus, Switzerland, Denmark, Isle of Man, Lithuania, Nigeria, Vietnam, and one other that it doesn't tell me what it is. Thanks to all of you out there and all of my folks here in the U.S. from sea to shining sea. And I have an assignment before I sign off. Send me ideas for patron-only content and other things that we can use going forward. You know how to find me. Just search Here's a Thing everywhere. Until next time, be authentic and like what you like. Let no one control your space. And find a way to elevate the world around you.